Hey, welcome to today's Daily Sprint. Jesse Dale here. Welcome to our studio condo. Fingers crossed, hopefully we won't be living here much longer. But we are today's Daily Sprint, we're here about talking about increasing our purpose, passion, meaning, loving the new book, Think Again. This book is teaching me, and it will teach you if you decide to read it or if you want to tune into the Daily Sprints, to look at data and look at information differently, because data that we cling to, that we put as part of our beliefs, sometimes can no longer serve us. And if it's no longer serving us, it's ending up being a crutch in our amazing lives instead of an asset. We're gonna talk about that today. So here's 3 things that I was dead wrong about that this book helped me now share with you guys. And maybe you guys, of these 3 things, you might say you're wrong about being wrong for that. No, your first impression was right. But the new data that I've had, or not even new, but the data that I've had from experience does support these 3 things. But at one point, I had to say, I was wrong, or whoever taught me these things was wrong, and then I was wrong for continuing to hold on to them. So let's get into it. Number 1 is hard work equals more money, or another way to say it is more work equals more money, or another way to say it is more hours equals more money. No, trading time for money is the least productive way to build financial wealth. Matter of fact, anyone that you read that has built financial wealth, that has published books on that, will say, do not trade time for money. But that's what my fathers did. This guy had the work ethic of a mule. I thank him very much for inheriting some of that work ethic, but I had to keep that belief and grow out of that belief in entrepreneurship and in business. Number 2, this one came from my mom. More education equaled more money or more prosperity. No, education is actually a very big liability. Matter of fact, if you're listening to this right now and you're in your 30s, you might still be paying off college loans from 10 years ago, okay? Let me know if that's the case in the comments. It's what we do with that knowledge that matters. So when we're getting the knowledge, when we're paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars for this degree, this awesome piece of paper that we put in a frame and we do, and then we wear a cap and we graduate and it's cool, they play real cool music. All of that we are consuming. We are consuming. And when we then produce through the use of that knowledge, that's when it may or may not start to pay off. So I have to say, I don't know if any of my formal education has ever become anything but a liability for me. But because that's how I was raised, you get straight A's and you go to school and then you go to college and then you get a degree and then you work 9 to 5 for someone. That's just a belief that I held true for a very long time. And number 3, this one's a big one. This one's probably the most controversial, although number 2 might be a little controversial. Renting is throwing your money away. Unless you own your home outright, this is very, very simple math. I think Grant Cardone probably talks about this. Robert Kiyosaki talks about this. We have a lot of friends that talk about this. And I remember the first time they told me this, I was like, whoa, my mind was blown. I'm like, they rent their house. If you just do a ledger, renting a home and then taking the 20% down that you would put to buy a home is 20 times better business or financial money decision than owning a home. Now, yes, I'm just talking about dollars and cents. You could talk about peace of mind. As a matter of fact, I'd love to have a discussion on this. Maybe we can get a discussion in this on the comments. But renting is a liability, renting, yes, it's told to us it's a liability. Actually, a home is probably one of the biggest liabilities that we can have. Renting could very much be an asset, because then the money that we would take to buy a home, we can then invest or buy a rental property that somebody else can rent. Awesome. So these are 3 things that I personally was dead wrong about. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for tuning in, and definitely check out Adam Grant's Think Again book. It is awesome.